$700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all $700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been number one in car insurance since World War II and number one in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlininsurance.com.
From Kelly Riley,
you know who also does?
Who?
Aaron Rodgers.
Really?
Well, I mean, State Farm.
Thank you. I was hoping we had a scoop here that Aaron Rodgers has
Maybe he
a
does
Minnesota base. Maybe let's say he does.
My guess is that Aaron Rodgers doesn't pay for his insurance. That's just my guess. I think that's probably part of his deal with State Farm when we see him on every commercial every minute.
And that is the way the world works.
Yeah.
If you are rich,
and can afford
you get stuff for free.
Yeah.
If you're not rich, you got to pay.
Yeah. If you can afford a natural disaster, if your house is destroyed or your car is totaled, you don't have to pay. But if you
multiple houses, you can afford. Yeah. From Kelly Riley, will Sam Ennis get a shot this year?
As I just said, his shot would have to come in the frame of call-ups. It would take a lot of injuries for him to make the team. There's one spot. Again, if you consider up front that they're going to probably keep 13 forwards, and you consider that it's again if they're healthy and coming out of camp. Zuckerstall, Granlund, Parisi, Koivu, Niederreiter, Eriksson Ek, Coyle, and then Hendricks, Brown, Fair, and Foligno. That's 12. Well, there's one spot then. And we all know, again, that Greenway's got the inside track at that. So, and then after Greenway, you got to think Matt Reed. And then after Matt Reed, you got to think Kyle Rao. And then after Kyle Rao, you probably even think Luke Cunnin. And then after that, maybe even Landon Ferraro or Cal O'Reilly. I don't even know if Cal O'Reilly's still in this organization, and then Sam Ennis. So again, probably not. He would have to be absolutely sensational in camp.
From Serious Mashup, so Leopold has managed to miss out on Yzerman twice.
Well, I've got to hope that was sarcastic.
Yeah, I think it was. From Russo's,
do you think if it's not sarcastic, let me admonish you again. He wanted to hire him. He actually was about to offer the job to Chuck and could not get it out of his head that he actually went back and met with Yzerman a second time to try to convince him that he could do both jobs, as I've reported many times. Then he hired Chuck, so he didn't miss out on him. And this time, this guy is leaving Tampa to go home for a quality of life reason. And if and again, you don't know that that's going to happen if you're Craig. And second of all, he's got a year left on his contract, so Craig couldn't have hired him even if he did know. And again, 3, we got to think that he's probably the next Red Wings GM. So.
From Russo Slorts, will you be making fun of making the trip to Des Moines for the Wild Blues preseason game?
Yeah, I'm going to get a face tattoo. I already said that on Twitter.
To go with your neck tattoo?
To go with my Slorts.
From, let's see, Mikey Serpico actually tweeted me to talk about the pronunciation of Millar and Barber. I think I got it right. If I got it wrong, somebody let me know. From Carson on Twitter, if you had to fight one player on the Wild, who would it be and why?
No comment. I don't think there's anybody on this team I'd fight. All the
pretty mild-mannered group, actually.
Yeah.
From Kyle.
Now, if you ask that the other way around, I'm sure that about 15 players would probably raise their hand to fight me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and they probably go 15-on-1 too.
Yeah.
From Carson on Twitter, from Kyle, Wild 4 Running on Twitter, what is your impression of our other Russian prospects, Sokolov and Kovanov?
Well, I talked about Kovanov and Sokolov. Same thing I've always said. A ton of skill, can shoot the puck like very few players in this organization. Now he's just going to go to the minors and learn to be a pro, learn the two-way game, get his fitness under control, and maybe they got themselves a heck of a player here.
From Russo's Filter on Twitter, he lists his fast food fries power ranking. This is very important stuff. Number 6, Burger King. Number 5, Arby's. Number 4, McDonald's. Number 3, Wendy's. Number 2, In-N-Out Burger. Number 1, Five Guys. Do you have an opinion?
I haven't had a French fry since like 2002. I'm not kidding. And I'm shocked that Russo's Filter doesn't know that.
What's amazing is if you're a geek like me and you read everything that comes across your feed and read newspapers and magazines and everything else, I end up reading about health stuff. And I always figured that ice cream or something like that would be like the most, or alcohol would be like the most deadly food. And a lot of health organizations think that French fries are the absolute worst food you can eat.
Not shocking. Well, I'm not kidding. December 11, 2002.
Really?
I remember the date even. I just
and what
I quit fast food. I quit fast food. I got myself on a diet, but I do remember on the way to, like, basically I joined like a weight loss place, and on the way there I stopped at Burger King. So,
you know what? I don't eat fast food anymore, and I rarely eat French fries. It's not a rule. I just don't do it very often. But you know what I miss sometimes? I miss McDonald's fries when they're hot.
Yeah, I liked McDonald's and Wendy's back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that was the problem. I remember always driving to Panther games and stopping at Wendy's. That probably wasn't a good pregame meal.
Yeah, all of a sudden this sounds like a Jim Gaffigan routine.
Yeah, I know. Wow, I just had an epiphany, so that's why.
Who's your favorite comedian, by the way?
Who's my favorite comedian? Well, I mean, I'm a huge Seinfeld, the show fan.
Right. I tell you what, I have seen him live.
Yep.
He puts on a really good show.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, I loved Emo Phillips. I loved Eddie Murphy. I still remember listening to Eddie Murphy Raw on, like, I do my paper route. I used to listen to that. I used to be able to do the entire routines, like the Ice Cream Man is Coming routine. I think that was Eddie Murphy Raw. Or was the other one? Like, Mom, the Ice Cream Man is coming. Get out your money. So those are that. A current, the person I was going to say, it's just not appropriate to say him anymore.
Right.
Louis C.K.
Oh, I know. I thought you were going to say Bill Cosby.
No, I was going to say Louis C.K. I mean, that's the last comedian I saw in concert. Let's put it that way.
Here's the thing about Louis C.K. is he was/is great. My dog is chewing the crud out of something. I apologize if that's coming through on the feed. I'm not really in a position to correct him at the moment. Good Lord, it's like having a kid. Louis C.K. is brilliant. But the thing is, if you go back and listen to a lot of his routines, they basically kind of hint at the kind of guy he is.
Yeah, he wasn't hiding it.
No,
that's
he
the
really
funniest
wasn't.
thing. By the way, the bone is a lot more tolerable than that one time when you were doing like pots and pans.
Yeah, that was
like on
that was
Skype.
much worse.
Remember that?
That was. Much
I know
worse.
that when I leave here, I'm going to think of a comedian that I obviously absolutely love.
Here's one that just popped in my head. I love Jim Gaffigan. But Stephen Wright, brilliant.
Oh, my God. I was such a fan of him as a kid.
I mean,
it was pretty much Emo Phillips, Stephen Wright, and Eddie Murphy when I was a kid.
It's a small world, but you wouldn't want to have to paint it.
Yeah, the guy is just brilliant. I remember I saw him in person once at the airport. I almost had a heart attack because he looks like my Uncle Gary.
You saw him, I thought you were saying you saw him, like, do his act. No, you just saw him at the airport.
But I will say, before Louis C.K., the people that I saw in concert was, so my buddy Craig Minervini is the Panthers and Marlins announcer. His brother Richie Minervini is a famous comedian, and he always opens for Ray Romano and Kevin James.
Oh, wow.
He's been in all of Kevin James' movies. They grew up together. So I saw the three of them in concert at the Mirage, and it was absolutely hilarious. I mean, it was just unbelievable. Then what's really cool is we got to hang out after the show with Richie, Ray Romano, and then Gary Valentine, which Gary Valentine, I don't know, look him up on YouTube. He is Kevin James' actual brother. Kevin James is not Kevin James' real name. His last name is really Valentine. So if you look up Gary Valentine on YouTube, you'd recognize him.
Yep.
That's his brother, and we wound up hanging out all night. Ray Romano, we played craps with. I got pictures all over my Facebook of us playing craps. He made me and my buddy Rolf and Craig a fortune. Like a lot of money, and he was barely gambling. And that's the second time I gambled Ray Romano. I told him this story about 4 or 5 years before. I played head-to-head with him in a sit-and-go tournament at the Mirage, and he and I split the pot. At the end, it was a $500 sit-and-go table, and he and I split the winnings at the end because he had to go do his act. And I told him at the end, I said, I love you as a comedian, but I got to tell you, everybody loves Raymond. I'm a sports writer, and it's the most inaccurate resemblance of a sports writer ever. He's never on deadline. He's not an alcoholic.
He's not stressed.
Take care of himself. He's not, overweight.
He spends time with his family.
Yeah, he's always home. He's
always
never
home.
in a press box.
Yeah.
So I told him that. So when I saw him again backstage at the show with Richie, and I reminded him, he goes, "I remember that. I've actually thought about using that in my act." So, but anyway, nice guy.
Ray Romano, I think he's a good comedian, but he's a great actor.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Raymond.
He is a great actor.
Fantastic.
All his movies where he plays dramatic roles, he's really good too.
And I don't know, I can't remember it might be streaming or whatever, but it's Get Shorty.
Yeah.
See, I'm a big Elmore Leonard fan, and I love Get Shorty. It's as a book, and I love everything about Elmore Leonard. He also wrote the short story that inspired Justify, which is one of my favorite TV series of all time. So now Get Shorty is a TV series with Ray Romano, and it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic.
Larry David's another one.
Yeah.
I saw Bill Maher at the Mirage a couple years ago, and I was actually I could not believe how mean he was to the audience.
He's really mean.
There was somebody that was actually like on their phone during the thing, was texting from the third or fourth row, and he attacked this woman, called her like the C word, like 10 different times, to the point that it was like uncomfortable and made him beyond unlikable.
Right.
It was unbelievable. Like, just would not stop, to the point that people were actually walking out of the concert. It was in the same theater that I saw Ray Romano, Richie Minervini, and Kevin James. There was a guy named Garvey that was Richie Minervini's best buddy that I saw years ago. He died of cancer. He was so funny. David Brenner, somebody that I saw once at I shouldn't say where I saw him.
Okay.
But he, honestly, 3 weeks after I saw him, he died of a heart attack in Vegas. He used to play the Hilton forever. Remember the Hilton?
Reminds me, one of my nieces once, when my father was alive, my dad, he's a military guy, and he loved dramatic stories, and he was telling a story at a family gathering, and one of my nieces turned to one of us and said, "How come at the end of all your grandpa's stories, somebody dies?" I think he wanted to tell those kind of stories where the kicker was somebody actually died.
Yeah.
That wasn't a good story for me to tell. I should have told that. Brandon, you cut that out if you want.
Like Brandon's listening.
Yeah, no kidding. Brandon hasn't listened in years. All right. I'm going to throw it to final thought, a palate cleansing final thought, since I just brought the show crashing to a halt. After I thank Dulono's Pizza, a great delivery area, great place to go, late night, before games, whatever. TwillMN.com and the Edina Galleria, Whizkids.tech, FixologyRepair.com, and Tony Hoaglund, your State Farm agent in Champlin. Remember, download before you listen. Thanks to Brandon Morton, and email me if you'd like to sponsor this program or any of these shows around the network, including Jeff Diamond's new show, JSOUHAN47@gmail.com. Final thought, Mike.
What do you think of the Wild's new policy of clear bags or very, very small bags going into the arena? Does it make you feel safer?
It does not make me feel safer, and if I were a fan, it would probably annoy me.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be weird to walk in there with this wide open clear bag for everybody to see.
And I'm not going to.
I'm just scared to find the security person that I walk in with my gigantic bag and they think that, oh no, sorry, and you got to fight to get in with your laptop.
Yeah, I think it's probably an unnecessary step.
But look, right now, it's better be safe than sorry in this world. I was a little shocked at how easy it is to get into the state fair with anything, bags, whatever. But also, there are some soft spots in security. I love when you go to, say, some sort of festival right now, or now, when they have fireworks down at St. Anthony, Maine, and you can't get trucks in there. You see all these terrorist attacks that happen overseas now, or things like that. There are so many soft spots in the state fair where you could drive a freaking 18-wheeler into there. It's crazy. And so I actually rather be safe. Just the appearance of them checking, I think, is a good thing, because, let's be honest. If there's going to be a terrorist attack in this country, it's next going to happen at a sporting event. Where would it? Where wouldn't? Look what happened at Paris with the soccer game,
look at what happened in Vegas.
Yeah. Again, obviously Vegas. But again, the concert. With the band name is escaping me. Death Metal. What's the name of the band that it was in Paris?
Google
it.
It's not Queens of the Stone Age.
No, that's the guy is also in that band, or the drummer is also in Queens of the Stone Age. It's death metal something.
Anyway, yeah, I can't remember.
Paris.
I'm not a death metal person.
Here, I'll look it up. Because also the guy is really incredible documentary.
Eagles of Death Metal.
Eagles of Death Metal.
Yep.
So if you want to watch an incredible documentary that is riveting, but you will be bawling, crying after, which who doesn't want to?
It sounds
watch
great.
That? I'm not kidding you. Colin Hanks, Tom Hanks' son, produced a documentary on the Eagles of Death Metal going back to Paris after the attack, like a